Hello, my friends. Before I launch into today's musings, whatever, quick update for you on my little guy and his tonsils. He yesterday was 2 weeks post-op. We saw the ENT on Tuesday, and he got a clean bill of everything. It all healed perfectly. His hearing test was perfect with his new ear tubes, and he got the all clear to go back to school with no restrictions and to eat whatever he wants. He was very excited about that. So he went back to school yesterday. Um, he's not totally thrilled about that, but he was going stir crazy. He was ready, and he was very ready for real food. He was done with popsicles and Italian ice. Um, so so the real reason that I wanted to chat with you today was because this month is officially 1 year since I was diagnosed as type 1. Correctly diagnosed as type 1, I should say. Um, my doctor spent 3 years, 3.5, convinced that I was type 2, and treating me as such before I switched doctors. and found out that, yeah, I was actually type 1. And I had done a lot of research. The whole reason that I went to the new doctor was because I had heard about this thing called LADA, latent autoimmune diabetes in adults. Basically, it's type 1, but it comes on slowly, and it's when you're an adult. Um, it's just a fancy name. But I had read about it. And I was like, that sounds like me. Like, that sounds just like me. And I talked to my doctor about it, and she's like, I do think you have it, but I don't know if you're emotionally ready for it. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? You don't get to decide that. So I went to a new doctor, an endocrinologist, finally, which is what I should have done, in the first place. But he did all the necessary tests, and he agreed with me. He said, this sounds like you. Um, but it still hit me hard when he called with my blood work and confirmed, yeah, that's what you have. Um, and it was like a punch to the stomach, like that gut reaction when he said over the phone, your test came back, and yeah, that's what it is. Even though I knew in my head that's what I had. Like I, but still being told and given that label, you're type 1 and this is the rest of your life. That's hard. That's really hard. So I wanted to take a second today and acknowledge the progress that I've made in a year, how far I've come. Um, I mean, a year ago he told me this, and I was relieved to have a real diagnosis, to know what was really wrong, and to finally be able to actually treat it. But at the same time, it was being told, like, this is the rest of your life. Like, there is no, there's no cure. Like, this is it. This is what you have, and this is what you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your life. And that's tough. It's tough to swallow that. Um, and I struggled really hard. And, with that comes the insulin, which means all of a sudden you're poking yourself in the stomach with a needle multiple times every day. And it's a lot to jump into all at once. And when it first started, I did it because I knew that I had to. I had no choice, but I struggled. I struggled so much. Um, and I mean, raw truth for you, by August, I was suicidal. I was diagnosed in February, and by August, I had a plan, honestly, to be blunt. And thankfully, through counseling and through working with a psychiatrist, I can say that that is not the case anymore. Far from it. Um, So I've come a long way in this year. And I just wanted to take a second with you guys and acknowledge that and celebrate that. Um, it's a tough thing to get that kind of a diagnosis, something that is not going to go away. Something that you're going to have for the rest of your life that's going to impact every second of every day. That is truly, like, as much as I hate to say it, my diabetes kind of defines me. Um, I don't like that it does. I don't want it to, but at the same time, I recognize that I have to keep on top of it if I want to feel good. So, so I'm watching my blood sugar and I'm watching what I eat and I'm watching my insulin intake. And in that way, it kind of does control my life. But at the same time, I'm not afraid to, have the piece of cake at my daughter's birthday party. It's, I know what to do. I know how to bolus for that. I know, I've accepted it, and I've accepted the fact that, yeah, insulin sucks. Insulin really sucks, you guys. Um, but it gives me more freedom. It means that I don't have to completely stay away from carbs and sugar like my doctor was telling me to when she thought I was type 2. Um, it means that I can have ice cream with my kids from time to time. Um, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Diabetes sucks. It really does. But it's not a death sentence. I was looking at it as a death sentence when he first told me this. I was like, okay, so here we go. Like, how long do I have? 20 more years, maybe. I'm in my 30s. Okay. And and that's not how it has to be. So the key is really how you look at it and how you manage it. So knowing what I know about what this disease can cause in terms of side effects, I see my eye doctor every year, once a year, to get a checkup and make sure that there's no signs of retinopathy. Um, I see my dentist every 6 months because diabetics are more likely to have issues like gum disease. Um, Diabetes just affects everything. And I see my endocrinologist every 4 months. He runs lab work to check on my kidney function, my liver function, just everything else, and to make sure that my numbers are okay still. And, I'm just very conscious of the choices that I need to make to stay healthy because I have to tell you, I feel good. I feel good. Um, and I mean, a year ago, I was freaking out that I had to give myself injections every day. And I mean, oh my gosh, and I was a hot mess. And now here I am with an insulin pump. Because, I mean, yeah, I got used to the injections and I did them and they just were whatever. But there's another option, an insulin pump. That's a huge leap in a year. Um, I've accepted it. I don't like it. I won't lie and say that I like it, but I've accepted it. And it is who I am. And there's nothing I can do about that. And I want my kids to know that I am a badass and I can handle this. And it's not fun, it's not easy, but I can do it. Um, So in June, so I was diagnosed February. In June for my birthday, my husband asked me, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "I would like a couple of new tattoos, please." I only had one at that point. It's not like I'm covered. I swear I'm not. Um, but I got two new tattoos on my wrists. This one, it's I love you in sign language. It's just a thing that I do with my kids. They get on the bus in the morning, they get to their seat, and they sign out the window, "I love you," and I sign it back. Or like when we're in places where we can't talk to each other, I sign it and I can see that they're nervous or, whatever. We sign I love you to each other a lot. Um, so I got that one for them. And then on my other wrist, I got this. I am greater than my highs and lows, type 1 diabetic. And at the time, I was thinking of it as like, I forget to wear my medical ID bracelet a lot. And I was just thinking practically, like, if anything happens, maybe somebody will notice that and, think to check my blood sugar. Um, and now I'm kind of more seeing the beauty behind that. I am greater than my highs and lows. I have this under control for the moment. Everything can change, who knows? But for now, I have it managed. I have it under control. I am truly greater than my highs and lows. And yes, I am a type 1 diabetic. And yeah, that kind of does define me, but it means that I am tough, you guys. It means that I don't even flinch when I have to give myself an injection in my stomach. It means that I will do it 7 times a day if I have to, because I did, because I had to. It means that I know what it takes for me to stay healthy, and I'm going to do it because my kids deserve that and I deserve that. So what started out as a label on my wrist in case something happened to me for, an EMT or doctor to find and treat me with, has become my daily reminder that I am a badass because I can do this. I can. And that's just, I'm like kind of tearing up a little bit. It's a huge way to come in a year, to go from being leveled by that diagnosis to recognizing my own strength and that, yeah, this sucks and I hate it and I wish that it wasn't how life is, but it is. And I'm not going to let it destroy me. And life is still good, and life can be good with an insulin pump, with diabetes. And it doesn't have to mean that I'm horribly sick. It doesn't have to mean that life is terrible. I don't have to let it control me like that. So, if you are in the same boat as me, not gonna lie, it's not the greatest boat to be in, but it is what it is. But know that you are also a badass and you can do this. And it sucks, but we are tough and we've got it. And it might take a little while for you to get there because it took me a little bit too. But I want my kids to know someday just how much I fight for them every day, just fighting against my own body. I want my kids to recognize that someday, to see that I love them so much to be willing to do that for them. And that I respect myself, I guess you could say, enough to fight my body, which is fighting itself essentially. And yeah, like I've got this, and I'm lucky enough that we have the good insurance that means I can go to the doctors that are helping me. But when it comes down to it, it's all my mindset and how I look at it. And same for you. And if you look at it as something that controls you and consumes you, it's going to. Because that's how I looked at it, and it did. It consumed me and it pulled me down. Hardcore. Badly. Don't let it do that. You are tougher. I am tougher. We've got this. So I hope that you all have a fabulous, fabulous day. Um, I'm kind of enjoying quiet with my kids all back at school. But have a fabulous day. Know that you've got this. Take care of yourself. I'm trying to take care of myself. And if you have questions or comments, please drop them down below. And like and comment. Like and subscribe to stay up to date with me. Yay! Because there's always something happening over here. I will see you soon. Bye.